In the year of 1521, a fleet of Spanish ships, led by Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, reached the shores of the Philippine island of Cebu. To some, it was the dawn of Christianity. To others, it was the beginning of conquest. What they called discovery would begin a long chapter of conquest. On the island of Mactan, Chief Lapu-Lapu resisted and triumphed. The death of Magellan at the hands of Lapu-Lapu would not stop the tide of colonization that followed. Magellan fell, but Spain would return, and this time they would stay.
By 1565, Miguel Lopez de Legazpi arrived to establish the first permanent colony. With the sword came the cross. Spanish control was solidified. Churches rose, friars ruled, and native practices were outlawed. Christianity brought salvation, but at the price of submission. Christianity swept through the islands, guided by friars who preached peace, but often ruled with fear. The old ways were forbidden, native leaders were subdued, and the Spanish crown tightened its grip on the archipelago. The people, baptized in faith, began to forget their own gods, but not their hunger for freedom.
By the 1800s, the Ilustrados, young Filipinos educated in Europe, returned with Enlightenment ideas of liberty, equality, and reform. They saw the Philippines not as a colony, but as a nation. In the hearts of young Filipinos, a new fire began to burn. They questioned the abuses of the clergy. They demanded rights. They dreamed of a nation that belonged to Filipinos, not foreign rulers.
In 1887, Jose Rizal published Noli Me Tangere, a mirror to Filipino suffering, unveiling the hypocrisy and cruelty of the Spanish rule. In 1891, El Filibusterismo followed, darker, angrier, uncompromising. Through fiction, Rizal exposed the truth. His novels became sacred texts for the oppressed. The revolution would not begin with gunfire, but with inks. The pen became a weapon.
With bolos in hand and the red flag of Katipunan raised, Bonifacio and his men tore up their cedulas. The time for secret words had passed. Now only action remained. The Katipunan was born in secrecy, but it would not stay secret for long. Led by Andres Bonifacio, men and women took up arms against the empire. With bolos raised and their cedulas torn, they declared their rebellion. It was a war of courage, of blood, and of hope, and it shook the colonial foundations.
On June 12, 1898, Emilio Aguinaldo proclaimed Philippine independence from the balcony of his home in Kawit, Cavite. A flag was raised, a nation was born, but it would not last. In a secret negotiations in a room in Paris, Spain sold the Philippines to a new master for $20 million. The United States. A new colonizer had arrived. The revolution had won its battle, but not its freedom.
The fight for independence would continue through generations. But the fire kindled by Rizal and the Katipunan would never be extinguished. The Filipino spirit, once bound, now beats freely. Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo were more than books. They were weapons. Rizal's stories painted a mirror to colonial society, exposing injustice, igniting resistance. Though he would be executed in 1896, his words had already sown a seed that no bullet could silence. Today, the Filipino people walk free, but not without memory. The chains of empire were heavy, but they were broken. In every flag raised, in every freedom spoken, the echoes of Rizal, Bonifacio, and millions of unnamed heroes still live on.